Welcome to Victoria's Paradise. This morning I was trying to find a place where nobody would disturb us, and finally I found it. I'm on my way from Istanbul back to Italy. Today I would like to talk about relationship. When I started as a woman, when I was like approximately 14 years old, it was so many restrictions for girls. My parents, when I was just a baby, I remember my parents told me, you have to eat with fork and knife. You have to sit with straight back. You have to go to take ballet classes. You have to be very good student. It was like so much pressure. And I looked at my brother and it looked like he didn't need to do anything, he was just perfect because he was a guy, he was a boy, right? And at that time I thought, okay, next lifetime, I would be a man because it's too difficult to be a girl. Then later on, when I was maybe 18, 19 years old, and I looked at my life, because at that time I got my first daughter, that was pretty early. But actually what I noticed that my life was much, much easier than, for example, guys I knew from school, because the pressure on men, it's actually much more, I think, than on us women, because they have to help their families, they have build house, get money, they have take care of wife and kids. It's just so much pressure. And I had friends who talk about their businesses, and it took them over 5-10 years to build their businesses. It took them so much time, and I had a very nice life. My first spouse, he was wealthy. So to me, it was very short amount of time. And for him, it took, I don't know, maybe like 7 years to build that business. So I thought, you know what, actually it's nice to be a woman. Especially it's nice to be a woman when you have a right man close to you. And when that man take care of you and helping your kids. It's a completely different universe. I remember when I was maybe 4-5 years old, I remember in kindergarten, I had boys running around and I never played with them. To me, they were very strange. I couldn't understand how they think, how they act, what they do, for what reason they do that. And it was another planet for me. And then suddenly when I turned 14, I was like, what's going on? So many guys that were around me and they wanted to be my friends and do something together and go somewhere. And they became very big part of my life. And I realized that men, they are amazing because they're very willing to help us. They make our life much, much better. When I was working in crisis center for women, I saw many women who actually, they wanted to be with a good man. But the problem was that they didn't know what good man mean, to them. What exactly the definition of good man? I remember one lady, she told me, I just would love to find a strong man who would take care of me, that I would not be a man in my family, that I would do just a woman stuff. She said a few times that she would like to have a strong man in her life. And she was sitting across the table, right? And I saw she had bruises on her body. So that was the problem. So she didn't know exactly what that would mean. In which area the guy's supposed to be strong. When you build your relationship before started, you really need to know and make it very clear for yourself for what person you're looking for. You need to know what are you looking for, what type of man you need in your life. For example, when you have kids and you really would like to get a partner who would help you to raise your kids, who will play with your kids, go to school, that would be one type of man, right? Another situation, you would like to get experience, you would like to travel, you would like to hike, this is your passion, you would like to find man like that, that would be your companion, but also have that drive and also would like to have all this craziness and experience in life. He's supposed to be sporty, right? He needs to be like up and going. This is another group of men. They're all saying the same thing, right? We all want to meet a good guy. This is the thing. We all want to make it go right and meet a good guy. But what would be good guy for you? Just you who can answer this question. I will just tell you about my relationship with Tom. It was like every day I was like ready to run on the top of the roof, because when I arrived to America, I couldn't speak English at all. So I spoke Norwegian, and language barrier just was crazy. It was very difficult. When she told me something, I couldn't understand it. I told him, okay, Tom, what if I will take a walk? He said, okay, hang on. And in my mind, from my English that I knew to that point, I thought, okay, he wants me to hang myself. And I was like, wow, he's such a rude guy. When I learned English at school, we were saying like the question he is, then come in the sentence. So when I was talking to Tom, and we were dating already almost like for 6 months, he was telling me like, the question mark is, and he was continuing the sentence, and I was like, this is something wrong. He dated me 6 months. Why he calling me Mark? It was so many pathetic situations. I couldn't speak language and I couldn't understand it. Sometimes it was fun. Sometimes it created a lot of frustration because he couldn't duplicate what I was saying. I couldn't duplicate what he was saying. Men and women were completely different planets in the universe, and this is actually the beautiful part of it. Because if it would be similar, it would be not so magnetic for us to be together. Yeah, it's great when person can understand you, and when I talk to Tom, I always saying, Tom, can you understand like a woman viewpoint about this and that? And usually she is very careful about it. But while I was talking to him, I actually changing my mind, and I think, oh, wait a minute, it actually was great. It actually was not that bad. So yes, girls, it's definitely a plus point that we are so different, and it's so magnetic for us to be together. And that's what guys, they cannot do. We can help them on that. And that's what we cannot do. They can help us on that. Women, when they're talking to me, they're saying, oh, you know what? I do not get enough help from men. I would like to have that experience, like how to have a gentleman around you. And at the same time, like the same girl telling me about traveling with 2 small kids, carry-ons and luggage, and like all that stuff. I asked her, how did you travel with all of that? Did you get any help? And she said, no, I don't need any help. I can do everything on my own. I can do everything myself. So I thought, you just told me that you're not happy about it because you do not get help from men. And of course, you would not get help from men because you don't need it. You're rejecting it. And maybe even they would like to ask you about it. But sometimes they even don't know how to do it and how to start it. Girls, this is a wonderful thing that we are different. And it helps us a lot. And in this case, we can stay happy and we can stay beautiful, because it could be not something more beautiful when woman together with man, and man is a real gentleman. I don't know. I think it's really, really beautiful thing.